Namaste, this is Pulkit and I'm very happy to announce the launch of our Yogic Powers newsletter. This newsletter is going to consist of 12 podcasts, and in each podcast I shall detail an incident from the life of Pandit Sriram Sharma Acharya in which he used his yogic powers to solve people's problems. Now, one of the reasons I'm launching this newsletter is because of a question that I get asked most often. Many of you write to me saying, Didi, I am a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, Sharda Ma and Swami Vivekananda. Or you say I am a devotee of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, or of Paramhans Yogananda, or of Swami Shivananda, or Maharishi Raman. But even though I am a devotee of one of these great gurus, a question always lingers at the back of my mind. You see, my gurus left their body long ago, so how will they help resolve the difficulties that I face in my life today? How will they even know that I am going through tough times? How will they help me get over a family problem or a financial problem? How will they help protect me from illnesses or accidents or even black magic? Some of you are concerned about black magic. How will they intervene and nullify some of my past bad karmas and alter the course of my destiny? Since these gurus have left their physical body, then how will they awaken my kundalini? How will they guide me on the spiritual path? How will they watch over me and do all these things, because now they are no longer present? So these are very fundamental questions, because if we can't dimension how avatars and God-realized gurus operate, if we can't understand what are their yogic powers, what are their capabilities, if we can't fathom how they can help us, then we can't really pray to them. We cannot express our problems before them. So if we want to foster a deep inner relationship with God-realized rishis, then we have to understand what they are capable of. It is with this primary objective that I am launching this podcast. In this podcast, the incidents will focus on the life of Pandit Sriram Sharma Acharya, because it is in his life that we find a deep enough and authenticated repository of incidents. This is not to say that the other Rishi Gurus whose teachings I represent on the spiritual bee did not possess these yogic powers. They absolutely did and still do. It is just that the captured incidents, the ones recollected by their disciples, are fewer in number. Out of hundreds of incidents that almost certainly occurred in the lives of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna or Sharda Ma or Sri Aurobindo or Paramhans Yogananda or any of the gurus that I represent on the spiritual bee, only a few of these incidents were captured and noted down by disciples in books and thus saved for future generations. With Pandit Sriram Sharma though, the situation was slightly different. He used to tell his disciples to maintain a diary where they would record their experiences during meditation or the incidents of divine intervention in their lives. Later, they would show these diaries to the sage and he would authenticate their written experiences, meaning he would affirm whether their experience was an imagination or whether it actually happened. But one thing I must point out is that Pandit Sriram Sharma forbade his disciples from speaking about these incidents in which he used his yogic powers to help them. As long as he was living in his physical body, they could not make these incidents public. Now you may ask, why did he do that? The answer is because he did not want to attract the wrong kind of devotees by advertising his yogic powers. Even Pandit Sriram Sharma's guru, Swami Sarveshwaranand, who lives in his subtle body in the Himalayas, advised him not to waste his hard-earned yogic powers on undeserving people. Because the truth is that many people in this world are freeloaders. They have a malicious and cunning temperament, and they are always looking to extract boons from great yogis without putting in any effort to reform and purify their moral nature. So the sage did not want to seek fame and cheap popularity by attracting crowds of selfish disciples. Pandit Sriram Sharma only wanted sincere disciples whose minds resonated with his high moral teachings and he would help such people progress spiritually by removing some of the hurdles that block their path by using his yogic powers. So for this reason, the incidents that I'm going to narrate to you in my podcast have all been released by the Gayatri Parivar several years after Pandit Sri Ram Sharma had given up his body. Now all these yogic power incidents documented by the Gayatri Parivar are in Hindi. Therefore, I am translating them into English, and in this way I am offering my seva at the feet of Pandit Sri Ram Sharma, one of the great rishis of Advait Vedanta. Because the kind of practical knowledge that Pandit Sri Ram Sharma brings to Advait Vedanta really adds a wonderful dimensionality to the teachings of the other Rishi Gurus that I represent on the spiritual bee. It helps their teachings blossom fully. In fact, the teachings of all these God-realized Gurus are complementary to each other. Advait Vedanta is such a vast field, and each of these rishis has explained certain aspects of it. And when you combine the teachings of this very specific group of rishis, then all the pieces of the puzzle fall into place and we come out with a really in-depth understanding of both the theory and the practical application of Advait Vedanta in our lives. As a matter of fact, it is only because of the incidents in the life of Pandit Sri Ram Sharma that I can dimension the yogic powers possessed by my other gurus who are listed on the screen. I can understand what they are capable of, and I want to familiarize you with the same. So this is my motivation. That is why I'm launching this newsletter and you can subscribe to it. I'm planning to launch 12 podcasts per year. So basically, I'm going to take the Hindi incidents and first translate them into English. And then I shall record and edit them in a podcast form. The whole process is quite time intensive, even though the final audio story may be only 4 to 6 minutes long. Still, at my end, the whole process takes about 5 to 7 days. Therefore, I'm going to release only one podcast per month. Once I have a sufficient number of incidents translated, I'm planning to donate my translations to the Shantikunj ashram of Pandit Sri Ram Sharma, and I shall request them to publish them in a book form for dissemination to all devotees. Therefore, by subscribing to this podcast, you shall help support this crucial English translation work, which will make the Hindi teachings of Pandit Sri Ram Sharma available to a wider audience of devotees. Now, there are 3 ways of subscribing to the newsletter. The first 2 options listed on the screen are for Indian citizens, and the third is for foreign nationals. So if you have an Android phone, then just head on over to the Google Play Store and download the Spiritual Bee Academy app. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, then the process is slightly different. From the Apple Store, search for Class Plus. Class Plus is the company that has made our app. Once you download the Class Plus app, it will ask you for an OR code. Here you enter the Spiritual Bee Academy code, KSLGDO. The last letter is O as in O for orange. Once you enter this code, you will immediately be logged into the Spiritual Bee Academy, and you will be able to access our newsletter. Finally, if you are a foreign citizen, then head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/Pulkit and subscribe to the Yogic Powers newsletter there. I will leave the links to all 3 subscription options below. Additionally, there shall be a second FAQs on Spirituality newsletter that shall be released in a few days. It is already up and running on Patreon, but for my Indian brothers and sisters, I will be launching it soon on the Spiritual Bee Academy app. So stay tuned for that. Take care and we'll meet again soon.